Hello everyone and welcome to Winds of War, a massive new update for Grey Zone Warfare that completely changes how the game is played. There's a lot to get to, so let's dive right in. Let's start with a question on everybody's mind. How is the performance? We can happily say that our optimization efforts bore fruit and you should see improvements all across the board. To help players on lower end machines, we are also introducing revamped low settings graphical options. In Winds of War, the flow of the game changes dramatically with the addition of combat outposts or COPs. 38 forward bases strategically spread across the Lamang Island to provide access to vendors, resupply and most importantly, respawns. Yes, you can now respawn at any one of these combat outposts and don't have to rely on a heli ride back to the base camp. Very useful if you're thinking of hitting a high-risk location like the Fort Narith military base. Plan accordingly and capture the nearby COP to have access to nearby respawn point. This, in combination with the fact that you can now turn in and accept tasks from anywhere on the map, drastically streamlines the experience and encourages you to stay in the field closer to the action. Speaking of tasks, we have added new strike missions and new tasks for you to enjoy. Overall, there's currently almost 300 of them. But back to the combat outposts. 2 of them randomly spawned a mysterious new vendor called the Vulture. Vulture scavenges the island for gear left in the world by other players. In other words, despawned player gear. Thanks to Vulture, you now have access to these usually very highly kitted out weapons and high tier armor. One more reason to capture these COPs and secure support for your operations. But be careful, every other faction is going to try to do the same, leading to a player on player violence. With Winds of War, you can now find PvP action if you are looking for it. Conflict zones now appear on your map and you get notified that PvP is occurring near your position. It is your choice if you want to try your luck and engage, or rather avoid these high-risk, high-reward situations. To support this and ensure a fair and competitive environment, we're also introducing a new anti-cheat system. This marks a major step forward in our ongoing efforts to combat cheating and preserve the integrity of player versus player combat. These conflict zones are the only feature that is Warfare mode exclusive. Players who enjoy the peaceful life of PvE in joint operations share access to all captured COPs, perfect to encourage player interaction and cooperation. Find new friends and enjoy the hospitality of one of the friendliest gaming communities around.
Are you guys healing him or looting him?
Yes.
Oh my God! Welcome back! Miracle! Christmas miracle!
Now let's talk about the Lamang Island itself. Combat outposts are not the only thing that makes the island feel more alive. Winds of War adds over 60 new locations, like a forest plane crash, hidden poppy field, or yes, the community's favorite, strip club.
Oh, look at him go, yeah.
Oh yeah.
These locations make the island feel more dense and encourage exploration. Each of these new locations hides its own story and some interesting loot. We had a look at our loot system and rebalanced things so that exploring feels even more rewarding, providing access to high-value loot and useful gear. Another aspect that makes the island feel even more alive is the newly added weather system. Based on real-life data from Southeast Asia, we created realistic weather presets that simulate weather patterns from the region and make Lamang Island feel even more immersive. From light to heavy rain, misty jungle, or full-blown thunderstorms. Every operation you embark on feels different, creating memorable moments for you and your friends. The weather is not just an eye candy though, it has direct gameplay implications. Raindrops hit your eyes, scopes and even NVGs and affect your vision. Your movement is affected by the flooded rice fields. Your hearing is also limited. Scanning for footsteps is more difficult with thunder booming in the background. Keep that in mind. AI enemies are also affected by the weather with their vision and hearing limited. If you're planning a sneaky approach, maybe use the weather to your advantage. And speaking of AI, we have introduced some pretty interesting improvements. Those of you who remember the Terminator AI era, that was addressed months ago. In Winds of War, we added new animations that communicate if the AI is hit or injured. AI enemies now check their wounds or limp to safety. AI is something that we work on constantly, so further improvements are to be expected with almost every patch. The Winds of War update also introduces 5 new weapons. the M9A1 Beretta and Colt Commander pistols, the MP7 SMG with the newly added 4.6x30mm caliber, the MCX assault rifle with the 300 blackout caliber, and the legendary battle rifle SVD Dragunov. 5 new scopes have also been added. Altogether, Winds of War introduces over 80 weapon parts and attachments, giving you absolute freedom when assembling your dream weapon. All weapons have also received improved ballistics, which now simulate how the projectile behaves in soft tissue with a tumbling effect. This is especially evident when hitting enemies in the unprotected body parts. We added new organs, the guts, which now lead to a less spongy feeling when engaging enemies. If you are hit in the gut, a new health status might also appear and occasional throwing up might occur. Be careful and stitch those holes up as soon as you can. You now also see more details on the death screen, like the fatal shot, direction of the incoming projectiles, or the caliber that inflicted the wound. To save you from all this damage, we're introducing new armors and helmets. You can now equip the heavy Plate 6 carrier or the versatile Phantom 2 ballistic vests. We also introduced variations of existing armors to enhance the selection. Helmets now come in more variety too, some with NVG mounts, some without. The star of the update is the community favorite Skullcrasher, a light protection headwear with the ability to mount night vision gear on top. You can now get new weapon and gear cases which help you to further organize your locker. Together with the newly added sorting options, where you can, by the way, change the order of the filters, this is a game changer for messy players. Sort everything, then pack it, and voila, your locker is ready. A new and very interesting piece of gear that is actually community suggested are the T-tags or trackers. You can now buy or attach these to your treasured equipment and track it if lost or looted from your corpse. Track down your killer and reclaim your hard-earned possessions. But be careful, those who stole your stuff know the gear is tracked, and they might set up an ambush for you. If they do, maybe you'd like to teach them a lesson and drop a well-aimed mortar shell on their head. And yes, you can now call mortar strikes. These devastating and extremely pricey strikes can help when clearing out heavily defended positions or can ruin somebody's wholesome campfire sessions.
And then scroll down again to see sit. Yep.
All units,
Oh my God!
fire from an enemy PMC.
Mortar shells come in 3 different variations, from short to medium to long range ones, so plan accordingly when purchasing and calling these. We also made tweaks to the repair system. Your gear no longer suffers damage upon death, but instead loses durability over time with use, or by actually hitting your gear with incoming projectiles. You now have the option to repair your gear directly in the bases. It just takes some time to repair and some money, of course. The other option is to use the newly added repair kits. These instantaneously repair your gear, but are consumed in the process. This feature is a direct response to the community feedback. You guys really didn't vibe with the lost durability upon death, and we totally get that. And speaking of community feedback, Winds of War introduces a plethora of quality of life improvements. Number 1. Localization. The game is now available in 11 different languages: Korean, Italian, German, Spanish, Czech, Turkish, Japanese, simplified Chinese, Polish, and Brazilian Portuguese. Enjoy the game in your native language. And if the translation isn't perfect, let us know in the feedback form in the description of this video. We naturally plan to expand the list of the supported languages over time and will also support community translations. For details, check our Discord. Other quality of life improvements include dragging your hurt friends out of harm's way, where you can patch them up and put them back on their feet. PID improvements, aka armbands on your teammates. These are reflective to increase teammate visibility even during the night. Squad mates now share kill task progression, making sure you don't have to shoot up a certain location several times to get your tasks completed. Smooth zooming with scopes. You can now manually respawn should you get stuck in the world. Ambient audio was reworked. And so on and so on. The full list of additions and improvements is available in the patch notes below this video. We at Madfinger Games listen to your feedback closely, and Winds of War update is our response. We of course plan to introduce more patches and improvements over time, so keep an eye out on our social media. Thank you so much for all your feedback. You guys are helping to shape the future of Grey Zone Warfare. Every move matters.